Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Yes, so while we continue to think that it was only Queen Naomi that wasn't treated fairly by, being given all of this requirement to fulfill before returning or being reinstated into the life of the Ooni of Ife, it's just coming to our notice that Ooni of Ife also has got his own fair share of items, and it's not a small thing that has been listed. But they said from the very beginning it was there, but they didn't want to make it. Ooni of Ife wanted to complete that of Queen Naomi, but right now it's beginning to look as though everything must go hand in hand with what the Ooni of Ife is doing with what Queen Naomi is doing. I have made this explanation clear on the other video. They said the oracle, gave Ooni of Ife 7 days to complete Abefe Oba before Queen Naomi's second full moon ritual. And the Abefe Oba's ritual, I have explained what it is and how they needed to do it, but they said that something happened recently. I've explained to you guys what the full moon ritual is all about, and they said a full moon ritual happens at the end of either a month or the beginning of the next month. And they said that for these years, this full moon ritual, the full moon ritual is about to happen anytime soon. And some people are saying it's on the 12th, or some are saying it's before 12. Some are even saying that they are preparing to do it. I'm waiting for my own source, to give me an update on when they are doing it. Is it tomorrow? Is it next month? Is it next week? But one thing that we have come to find out is that Queen Naomi is really, really, I wouldn't say lucky, a blessed child, Now, the reason why they looked at the stars and the cosmic signs and they gave Ooni of Ife, they told him to do the Abefe Oba ritual before the full moon is that the full moon, where Queen Naomi is supposed to perform her second full moon ritual, is happening soon, and it said it's going to be a micro full moon. What is a micro full moon? They said it's a full moon that will be full, but it will be small. And they said that full moon, that micro full moon, is usually a sign of blessing, and that is not all the time it happens. That maybe in 7 years, you may just have just 2 micro full moons, And now when she's doing her second full moon ritual, she's meeting the micro full moon, which is something that indicates that everything is aligning with her purpose and the purpose of the Ooni of Ife. And it is the reason why they had to rush the Ooni of Ife to go and perform the Abefe Oba in 7 days. They say when the voice of the oracle, speaks in Yoruba tradition, it's not just sound, it is destiny revealing itself. That was the case when the Ifa priest of the Ooni of Ife's, royal court consulted the sacred chain and cast the divination tray regarding Queen Naomi's spiritual journey. What came back was a thunderous warning trapped in mystery and urgency. The Ooni of Ife had exactly 7 days to perform the sacred Abefe Oba ritual for Queen Naomi, or risk, losing her, This wasn't a mere trait, it was a spiritual decree, They said Queen Naomi, is approaching her second full moon, ritual, a sacred period tied to her personal or spiritual head and prophetic calling. In the Yoruba belief system, full moons are not just astronomical events, they are gateways, sacred windows where spiritual transitions occur, For someone like Queen Naomi, who is a known prophetic vessel, the full moon signifies a moment of clarity, alleviation, and rebirth. If she were to enter that full moon period without the ritual, reconciliation, of Abefe Oba from her husband, it would mean the spiritual, severance of her past ties to the palace and the Ooni of Ife himself. Now, they said the message was clear. The Abefe Oba was not performed within. If the Abefe Oba is not performed within 7 days, Queen Naomi's destiny will be sealed in a new direction, And these are the kind of things that Kabiyesi doesn't want to hear. You can say anything to Kabiyesi, but do not say anything that will sound as though there is a possibility that he will be losing Olori Naomi, and they said that was how the Ooni of Ife ran and ran and ran to provide things for the Abefe Oba. So most of the things that the rituals that the Ooni of Ife also is supposed to perform, there are like 7 rituals too that the Ooni of Ife is supposed to perform, and they say Ooni of Ife has gone ahead to perform about 3 or 4 together. Now these Abefe Oba, they said that the one began with cleansing. The Ooni himself underwent ritual bath with herbs like Iwe, Iworu, Ife, the names there, I don't know, Ife, Yanrin, and Omo Igbo, okay? Sacred forest water, this was to rid his spirit of ego, pride, and unresolved emotion, okay? They too, he sent emissaries to Queen Naomi's families, which was what we discussed the other time, to beg, but to offer, not to beg, but to offer symbolic gifts. White kola nut, bitter kola honey, and a talking drum. The drum, played by a spiritual drummer, carried coded praises and ancestral messages that only Queen Naomi's family could interpret. It was a way of saying the king comes not with force but with harmony. All right, so the tree, okay. Wait, they said the Abefe Oba ritual is ongoing even up until now, but they are doing it in segment, day 1, day 2, day 3, okay? Day 3 sacrifices are made at the 3 main shrines in the palace of Batala, Orumola, and Oduduwa. These sacrifices involve white pigeons, shea butter, salt, and the blood of a white ram. The Ifa priest led the chant invoking the spirit of peace and divine reconciliation. I talked about that. Number 4, day 4, the palace women elders led by the Iyalodo and the Yeye Molu went into prayers and fasting. They lit sacred incense, played gongs, and summoned the feminine, deities, okay? Yamoja, Osun, and Oya. Their plea was simple: let the heart of the queen be moved, let her destiny not be scattered, let her crown not fall outside her head. These were the things that Kabiyesi was supposed to have done a long time ago, but these women in the palace, they just created confusion. If things have not done, may God bless Yanifa. If things had not been done the way they were supposed to be done, you think that they would have come this far? They wouldn't have come this far. This is a whole lot. Day 5, they said the Oni received a special item from the Irumala priest, a calabash of restoration which contains spiritually fortified items meant to realign his soul with Queen Naomi. This calabash was to be placed at the entrance of the queen's chamber before she steps in again. But I don't know how they are going to do this, but they say they are on it. So Day 6, the king wrote a personal message, which I don't know if they have done it, but they say they are still in the process. The king is to write a personal message, not with pen and paper, but through spoken and recorded by Palace, Riot, okay? This message is encoded in Oriki praise poetry, sent through a Palace vocalist. The melody and rhymes carried his remorse, his longing, and his full acceptance of Queen Naomi's spiritual role in his life. Day 7, the final day, is the day of Abefe Oba itself. The Abefe Oba is not a public ceremony. It is done in the inner sanctuary of the palace or a sacred location chosen by the Ifa. Only the king, the high priest, and the queen's spiritual representative may be present. The ritual involves placing the king's hand over a sacred clay pot filled with rainwater, camwood, and crushed pearls. The queen's name is called 3 times. Her spirit is summoned. A sacred chant is spoken. It is not a small something. Oh, hey. That is why they say to be married to the Ooni of Ife is not a small thing. No. It is not a small thing. That is the only living deities. And so if you think that being married to the Ooni of Ife is a tipper affair, I think you have to think again, because it is not a small something at all to be married. So the Ooni of Ife. They say the moment the ritual is completed, a lot of things will happen, and they are on this performing the Abefe Oba ritual. And Ooni of Ife is using the same opportunity to expedite action in performing other rituals. They said Oni is, performing about 4 out of his 7 rituals to prepare, his wife to return back to his life. May God be praised. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.